a student who receives special education services as a part of my education. I have since I was in kindergarten. I had a stroke before I was born that left me with cerebral palsy, epilepsy, and some learning difficulties for things that are normally done by the affected part of my brain.
Special education. First point that needs to be made. All students are general education students.
I came here tonight for 2 reasons. I want you all to see a face when you are talking about special education students we aren't scary, weird, disruptive, or unable to learn. We just need help or modifications to make sure we are as ready as we can be for the real world when we graduate.
Please don't call them SPED kids. It's offensive.
A whole team of people who helped me, and that's the second reason I am here. I want to thank all the staff who have helped me along the way.
Ms. Minor, you recently were the star of a video where you gave an interview about special education. I want to give you a couple of corrections. Using the term typical and normal to describe one set of students who are strictly gen ed, do you know how hard that is to hear as a mother, that there's normal and then there's not normal? My kid is not normal. It's horrible.
I want to thank the physical therapists who helped me figure out how to carry something and open a door when I only have one hand that works well, and a whole bunch of other things that kids do during a school day that are hard to do with one hand. I want to thank the occupational therapists who helped me figure out how to adapt things so I can keep up with my peers, technology specialists who helped me figure out how to type with one hand. Thank you to the PE teachers who understand that exercise is important, but that it can be done in a variety of ways by people with mobility issues. Thank you to the elementary teachers who made accommodations for my learning differences, pushing me to stretch myself without pressuring me, and for recognizing when something just wasn't going to happen.
Okay. But the truly horrible part about that interview was your pilot program you so gleefully outlined. You want to put all the kids with services in one class. It's called segregation. You want to rob them of a day filled with their friends. Oh wait, should SPED kids only hang out with other SPED kids? It's a disability, it's not cooties. So let's say the quiet parts out loud. You think kids like mine are so undesirable to be around that only the hardiest of learners, I believe you called them independent self-starters, can withstand their negative influence. And so horrid to teach that you need to pay those teachers an extra stipend just to be around her.
In 2019, I had brain surgery to disconnect the entire left side of my brain because of my epilepsy, which was not fun at all, left me with even more disabilities. Thank you to my case manager at Santiago, who helped my family and me through a really hard time. Thank you to my Elmo case manager and OUSD Special Education Department, who helped put me additional people on my case to help with new disabilities once I was back at school. Vision mobility, adaptive technology, nurse, psychologist, and reassessments for OT and PT. And to my teachers who adapted faster than I did. It is because of the support of all these people for the past decade that next year I will graduate ready, not only for a career, but for college.
You promote a curriculum and programs that want to take education back to the way it was 100 years ago. Well, we refuse to go back. Slightly less than 100 years ago, people like my daughter were exterminated by evil in Germany because of their disabilities. We will not go back to that. 75 years ago, children like my daughter were sent to institutions to live. We will not go back to that. 50 years ago, children like my daughter were put in special classrooms at the end of hallways with limited expectations and limited interactions with kids in general ed. We will not go back to that. We have fought too hard to have our children not only included, but celebrated. I will fight you, our community will fight you, and we will stop you. We will not go back.
I heard that there are certain board members who don't think students who have special ed supports and services should be mainstreamed. I just want everyone to know I love school, and a big part of that is being in the classes with my friends. When you love something, you do better at it. I am proof that full inclusion works.
Since special ed isn't fully funded, if you want to advocate for students, advocate for that.
I was going to just stay quiet because it gets being in this position, you get used to taking a lot of abuse. It was really hard to hear people thinking that I was not for inclusion. And I do 100% agree that full inclusion is the way to go. So I don't know how that got twisted. But I'll wait.
You know, Madison, no one got it twisted. We all saw your video. And in the video, you called for segregation. And if you're embarrassed by that because you now realize how ignorant that was and how unlawful that is, then be a big person and be a leader and own that. But don't tell us that we got it wrong, because we've all seen the video. Nobody got twisted, and we were right to call you out.